Welcome back. In the previous video, we discussed quality assurance activities for life cycle models. In this video, we will discuss factors affecting the intensity of quality assurance activities. From the discussion on uh, life cycle models and quality assurance activities, we know that project life cycle quality assurance activities are in fact process oriented. That is, they're linked to the completion of projects phases, accomplishment of different milestones of the project and so on. Uh, the quality assurance activities are actually integrated into the development plan that implements one or more software development models. For example, they use the waterfall model, a combination of prototyping and spiral model, or any other model. Therefore, the people involved in the quality assurance activities are required to determine a few elements, they need to, for example, develop the list of quality assurance activities needed for a project. For example, what type of quality assurance activities would be performed, like the reviews, inspection, testing, what activities would be performed. Similarly, it is also important to decide here is that for each activity, what would be the timing? That is, at what time a particular quality assurance activity would be performed. Similarly, the type of quality assurance activity to be applied is to be decided. For example, if a review is decided, what type of review would it be? Like, would it be peer review? Would it be like a formal design review? Would it be just a walkthrough? Or would it be inspection? Or whatever type of quality assurance activity is, it has to be listed in the development plan. Similarly, it is also important to note here in the development plan is that who will perform these activities. For example, what specific team members would perform this activity. This is important to consider that various bodies, for example, external bodies or external teams may participate in performing the quality assurance activities. Therefore, it is of course important to mention the representatives from the external teams here so that all the involved stakeholders could prepare them accordingly. Then resources required for removal of defects and introduction of changes have also to be listed in the quality in the development plan. So here we discuss the factors that affect the intensity of quality assurance activities in the development projects. In fact, there are two types of factors that affect the intensity of quality assurance activities in the development process. These factors are the project factors and team factors. The project factors include magnitude of the project, that is like the size of the project. So of course, if the project is of large size, it may affect the quality or intensity of performing uh, the certain quality assurance activities. Similarly, a technical complexity and difficulty of the process that also is a factor. Extent of reusable software components, that also is an important project factor that affects the intensity of the quality assurance activity. Similarly, like severity of failure outcomes if the project fails, that is in fact very important, and in fact that requires lots of experience to determine the severity of the consequences of the failures of the project. Then The second type of factors is team factors. For example, like these factors include professional qualification of team members, like what is their qualification and like how qualified they are to perform their intended jobs. Then team acquaintance with the project and its experience in the area. That's also a very important factor. In fact, if the team has worked with similar projects in the past, uh, there is high probability that they would you know, they would work comfortably in this new project as well. Similarly, availability of staff members who can professionally support the team, this might be some sports staff. Similarly, familiarity with team members. In other words, the percentage of new staff members in the team. In fact, this relates to the degree of acquaintance and working relationship among the team members. For example, if the team members have already worked with each other in a certain different team in past, it is an indicator of their confidence in each other's capabilities, and that, of course, contributes towards a better and well coordinated team. So, here we discuss how project and team factors can influence quality assurance activities with the help of an example. So, a software development team has planned the quality assurance activities for its new consumer club project. The current project contract signed with a leading furniture store is the team's 11th consumer club project dealing in the last 3 years. The team estimates that about 7 man-months need to be invested by the two team members assigned to the project, whose duration is estimated at 4 months. It is estimated that a reusable components library can supply 90% of the project software. So, three quality assurance activities were planned by the project leader. So, there are some important facts here to understand. The first one is that the team's acquaintance with while team's experience in working with the projects of this nature, that is enormous. That is, they have already completed 10 projects in this domain, and this is the 11th one. Similarly, another factor that might affect the quality of this project might be is the size of the project here, that we will see in the next slide. Similarly, another important factor is that like 90% of the components they will be reused. So it means that it gives a high confidence in using those components, because the quality of those components that has already been tested and verified. So we see three quality assurance activities that are being performed here. The first one is design review of requirements definition. The second one is inspection of the design, and the third one is system test of completed software package. We also see duration of a quality assurance activity in number of days, and duration of correction and uh, changes, that is also number of days. So we see design review of requirements definition 0.5 day is allocated for this activity. Similarly, 1 day is allocated for correcting the changes that were recommended during the review. Inspection of design, 1 day is allocated for this quality assurance activity, and 1 day is allocated for correcting uh, the recommendations. And then system test of completed software package, 4 days are allocated and 2 days are for corrections. So here we see that not much time is allocated for quality assurance activities. So what is the possible reason for that? So the main considerations regarding that are the degree of team acquaintance with the subject, because the team has already worked with multiple projects in this domain in past. Therefore, they are confident that they know much about this domain. Therefore, relatively small amount of time is allocated here. Similarly, the high percentage of software reuse is here, because 90% of the components are again being reused here. So the effectiveness or like the correctness of those components or the quality of those components, that has already been verified. Similarly, severity of failure results if the project fails. So that risk analysis that has already been performed in the previous project. Similarly, size of the project. In this case, it is medium-sized project. Therefore, the allocated time for quality assurance activities is justifiable here. In our online discussion, we will see a more complicated example, and we'll see that how uh, uh, the size of the project or different project factors they affect uh, the quality assurance activities. So here I will conclude this lecture. In part 1 and part 2 of this lecture, we discussed uh, life cycle models and quality assurance activities that are performed at different stages in those life cycle models. Whereas in part 3 of this lecture, we discussed uh, how different project and team factors affect the intensity of quality assurance activities during the development process. The material in this lecture are based on our course book titled Software Quality Assurance from Theory to Implementation by Daniel Gallen. Thank you.